Millions of Australians are losing sleep over a rumor that is spreading like wildfire across Facebook groups, WhatsApp chats, and retirement forums right now. They are saying the age 67 pension rule is gone. They are saying the government has quietly changed the rules, and if you are over 55, you need to stop what you are doing and watch this video, because I am going to tell you exactly what is true, what is false, and what is actually happening behind closed doors in 2026 that your retirement depends on. I am Daniel Brooks, and this is Centrelink Info AUS. Let me be completely straight with you from the very beginning, because that is what this channel is about. You have probably seen the headlines. Some version of Australia ends the age 67 pension rule, or goodbye retirement at 67. These titles are everywhere right now, and they are generating real fear among real Australians who have been counting down the years, months, and in some cases the days to their pension eligibility. So let us deal with this head on right now, because the truth is both simpler and more important than those headlines suggest. Here is the confirmed fact as of March 2026. The age pension eligibility age in Australia is 67 years old. It has not been raised. It has not been lowered. It has not been abolished. The rule stands exactly as it did before. If you were born on or after the 1st of January 1957, you must be 67 years of age to access the age pension through Centrelink. That is the law. That is the current policy. And the Department of Social Services has confirmed there are no bills currently before Parliament to change it. So before you panic, take a breath, because 67 is still the number. So what did actually change? Why are these headlines appearing everywhere, and why is everyone talking about it? That is exactly the right question to ask, and the answer matters, because while the age of 67 has not moved, what happened around the pension system in early 2026 is genuinely significant, and it will affect your retirement planning in ways you absolutely need to understand. Starting from early 2026, the government introduced what can best be described as a more adaptive framework around Australia's pension system. The pension age of 67 remains fixed, but built into the system now are mechanisms for periodic reviews. These reviews draw on actuarial assessments. Think of them as deep financial health checks on the entire pension system, factoring in things like life expectancy trends, workforce participation rates, and the long-term sustainability of the pension budget. In simple terms, the government is no longer just setting the age and forgetting about it. They are building in a formal process to look at it regularly and decide whether adjustments are needed in the future. That is the real change buried underneath all these dramatic headlines. Now, does that mean they are about to raise the pension age to 70? Absolutely not. There is no legislation for that. There is no official proposal on the table. Any change of that magnitude would require a brand new law to be introduced, debated, passed through Parliament, and then implemented with a long transition period, exactly as happened when the age gradually increased from 65 to 67 over several years starting back in 2017. That process took years. Any future change would take just as long, if not longer. So if you are 62, 63, or 64 right now, you are not suddenly going to be told you need to work until you are 70. That is not what is happening. Plan around facts, not fear. But here is something genuinely positive that is getting completely buried under all the panic, and I want to make sure you hear this clearly. The March 2026 reforms also introduced flexible retirement pathways. This is a significant shift in how the government thinks about the transition from work to retirement. Under these new pathways, older Australians are now able to gradually reduce their working hours while accessing partial pension benefits. Instead of a hard cliff edge where you work full-time one day and stop completely the moment you turn 67, the system now recognizes that retirement is a journey, not a door that slams shut. This is designed to ease both the financial and psychological pressure of stepping back from work, and for many Australians it is a genuinely positive and welcome development. Now let us talk numbers, because this is where things get very practical and very personal. As of the 20th of March 2026, the age pension rates were officially increased as part of the standard twice-yearly indexation that happens every March and September to keep payments aligned with inflation and cost of living changes. Currently, single pensioners are receiving up to $1,200.90 per fortnight. That works out to approximately $31,223 per year. For couples, each partner receives $905.20 per fortnight, with their combined total sitting at $1,810.40 per fortnight, around $47,070 per year combined. These increases are automatic. If you are already receiving the pension, you do not need to do anything, but if you are not yet receiving it and you believe you may be eligible, contact Services Australia or apply through MyGov right now, because every single fortnight you delay is money being left on the table. Now let us talk about the income and assets tests, because this is where a huge number of Australians get caught out. Being 67 alone does not get you the pension. You must also pass both the income test and the assets test through Centrelink. For 2026, both of these thresholds have been indexed upward, meaning the limits have increased, which is actually great news. More Australians can now qualify than before, and those who were previously receiving a reduced rate may now receive a little more. The income test looks at money coming in from various sources: employment, investments, rental income, and more. The assets test looks at the total value of what you own: savings, investment properties, vehicles, and other financial assets. Critically, your primary home is not counted in the assets test. If you own your house, it is excluded. Full stop. The work bonus has also been expanded in 2026, and this one deserves your full attention. This is the scheme that allows age pension recipients who are still doing some part-time or casual work to earn additional income without it fully eating into their pension payments. The amount you can earn under the work bonus before your pension is reduced has increased, giving older Australians significantly more flexibility and financial breathing room. If you are on the age pension and considering picking up a few shifts, doing some consulting work, or returning to part-time employment, this change is directly relevant to you, and it is worth understanding exactly how it works before you start earning that extra income. There is one more piece of this puzzle that almost nobody is talking about, and I want to make sure you hear it because it could genuinely catch you off guard. It is called the retirement gap. This is the period between when you stop working and when you actually become eligible for the pension. Many Australians retire before 67, some by choice, some because of health, and some because their work is physically demanding and their bodies simply cannot continue. But the pension does not care about any of that. It starts at 67 and not a day before. This means that if you retire at 65, you are potentially facing a 2-year gap with no pension income at all. During those 2 years, you need to be drawing from your superannuation or other savings. Planning for this gap is not optional. It is essential. If you have not factored it into your retirement strategy, you need to address it now, ideally with a registered financial advisor who understands your full picture. And while we are on superannuation, let me clear up something that causes enormous confusion. Your superannuation preservation age and your age pension age are two completely separate things. Your preservation age, the point at which you can start drawing down your super, sits between 55 and 60 depending on your birth year, with early access available under certain hardship provisions. But accessing your super early does not mean you get the pension early. These are different systems with different rules, operating entirely independently of each other. Do not confuse them. It is one of the most costly misunderstandings in Australian retirement planning. The broader reason all of this is being reviewed and reformed right now comes down to some very real and unavoidable numbers. Australia's population is aging rapidly. Projections show that around 22% of Australians will be aged 65 or over by 2066. Life expectancy has climbed above 83 years on average. The ratio of working Australians supporting retired Australians is shrinking. These are not political talking points. These are demographic realities, and they create genuine pressure on the long-term sustainability of the pension system. The government is not wrong to be looking at this. The question is whether they manage that conversation with transparency and fairness, or whether it gets lost in confusing headlines that leave millions of Australians unnecessarily anxious about their future. That is exactly why this channel exists. So here is the reality for 2026 in plain English. 67 is the confirmed pension age. Rates have increased, thresholds have been indexed upward. Flexible retirement pathways are now available. The work bonus has been expanded, and while the government has built in a formal framework to review the system periodically, no change to the eligibility age is currently before Parliament. If you are approaching retirement, the smartest moves you can make right now are to confirm your exact eligibility date with Services Australia, review your superannuation balance and withdrawal strategy, understand exactly how the income and assets tests apply to your specific situation, and if you are planning to retire before 67, have a crystal clear plan for how you will fund that gap period. The days of retiring at 65 and immediately collecting a pension are behind us, but 67 is not moving right now. Plan around what is confirmed, not around speculation. That is what Centrelink Info Aussies is here for. Every single week I break down the real changes to Centrelink, the age pension, superannuation, and every government support payment that matters to everyday Australians. No fluff, no fear-mongering, just clear and accurate information you can actually use. If this video helped you cut through the confusion today, please hit the like button right now. It genuinely helps more Australians find this information when they need it most. Subscribe to Centrelink Info Aussies so you never miss an update, and drop your question in the comments below, whether it is about the pension age, the assets test, super access, or anything else. I read every single comment. Until next time, stay informed, stay prepared, and remember, your retirement deserves to be built on facts, not fear. I am Daniel Brooks. See you in the next one.